Video number 2. I just finished the barrel bead. We're going to add some frit on it. This is just a mixture of grass green and petroleum green into my really cool, nifty, handmade, galvanized tray. But it works. We're going to continue on. We're going to make a frog. And the frit, I don't know if you can see that. See how it burns out? The combination of the two, it ends up looking like pond scum, which is way cool for a frog. I've started with a tube. I've made a video earlier on that, so you can watch that. And when you make tubes, just make sure you make it substantial enough that it's at least twice the size of, or the size of your mandrel. Otherwise it's going to crack and break. Got to have substance on it. Hopefully that afternoon sun is going to cooperate with us here. Okay, I'm trying to get this bead thoroughly hot all the way through without being so hot that it's moving. If it's not hot enough, the frit won't stick to it. If it's too hot, it's going to goop and move, and I don't want that. I want to keep it as a bead, as a tube. All right, here we go. The way I can do this so you can see it. Get my bead nice and hot, and I'm just kind of dab it into there. Hardly any pressure, just enough to get that to stick onto it. Now, if I do have any over the edge, see how some of that's sticking over there? Melt a little bit and just use your marver or my favorite tool, little paring knife with a hook at the end. See that? That is so cool. If you ever find any knives like that, send them to me. Kind of hard to find. I am now a connoisseur of paring knives. Alright, let's get that melted in. Just doing a lot of twirling. I'm melting the surface now, not the tube. Get that going. You can mash it on your marver. See the little sparks going on? You see that? I don't know if you can see that in the flame. That's just the combination of those two greens kind of burning out. And that's what leaves that little pond scum look to it. I don't know what else to say. Oh, like it. Let's cool it down a little bit. Take your didymiums off. Still really hot. Still about 1500 degrees. As it cools, you'll be able to see the color a little better. There we go. See how it leaves that little dot inside? Isn't that cool? Perfect little algae pond scum for a frog. And the base bead was, I think, like emerald transparent or something, so it just adds to the depth of it. Now the fun begins. Deciding what color to make your frog. I live in Missouri, so of course we got to do a Mizzou frog. I've got a stringer and a rod of black, and I've got a stringer and rod of goldenrod. I've got white, and I've got a transparent blue, both stringers, and those will be for the eyes. Alright, got to make sure the bead is warm but not hot. We want the frog to stick but not melt. And unfortunately I've got a brand new rod of black, so you get to enjoy this. Usually brand new rods pop, and luckily enough it didn't pop. But wherever they cut it, gotta keep this other bead warm. Wherever they cut it, it leaves a weird little crap on the end. That's the official word for it. So I pulled that off, threw it in my jar of water. Okay, does this bead look any better anywhere else than... So I'm kind of just looking at the bead right now, looking to see where the frog would look best. And you know, you can put flowers on it, you can do designs, you can do whatever, you know, under the frog. So in this case it really doesn't matter unless I happen to have a hole or something that I want to cover up, or something where it's all lined up instead of random, like right there. I don't know if you can see that. They're kind of all in a line, and I like them more like random. That would be a great place to put the frog. Everybody does frogs probably a little different. This is what works best for me. I like laying down 2 stripes for the body. String and pull up, and I leave the nub in there. And then I'm going to do another one right next to it. Touch, pull up. Alright, and I'm going to let the 2 on top melt together. See what happened when I did the 2 stripes there? It leaves that little divot. That way, I've got a place for his buns. And I can look at his buns, see if he needs some reinforcement. Kind of hard to see. Black. Poor choice. Oh well, deal with it. I'm going to put a couple little dots there just to raise up his little bottom a little bit more. And notice I'm kind of holding it at more of an angle, let those sag down a little bit. Get my rod ready for the next use. Alrighty. I'm going to just tap those in just a little bit. Get those melted in. I like using my paring knife just to kind of retrace his back. 2 little buns and his back. We have a headless, legless frog. Okay, keep the whole bead warm. Next thing I'm going to do, I think I'll do maybe the back legs next. Some people put the feet on and then direct the arms and the legs to go where the feet were placed. To me, I just really kind of never know. And I want to get that place hot where I'm going to be sticking him, sticking the leg, and I'm going to start on the back, go up, touch, and lift off. And you're going to switch sides here. Okay, so this is what we've got for a leg. Now that's a little heavy, so I'm just going to pull off a little bit. There we go. You see? One leg. I do it in 2 steps, 2-step process. Because I found if I did it in a 1-step process, the knee ended up looking more like a curve, and I didn't like that. So I do it in a 2-step process. So now you can continue on with that leg on down, or you can put the other one on. Since my bead is hot right there, I'm going to go ahead and put the second half of that leg on. So touch and down. Alrighty. Shake that up a little bit. There we go. There's his leg. Now my paring knife, because it's got that cool little notch on it, if I need to adjust that knee at all, I can just take that, nudge it up, shape it there, do whatever I need to do. And then by adding that leg right on top of his buns, it just reinforces that hip, you know, the voluptuous body part there. And again, you can just kind of shape it however you need to. I also have a tungsten pick here if I need to get into a little bit finer point or pull a little bit or something, I can do that. If I want to move that hip down a little bit, I can just nudge it with my tools. That's why you have them, use them. Don't forget to keep your base bead warm. Not so much that it's glowing, but warm enough that it's not going to pop and crack on you. I'm going to turn my flame down a little bit. It's a little warmer than I want to be using it right now. And black is a very soft glass. Leave it to me to pick one of them that's a little more difficult. Okay, luckily, I'm one of those people that can switch hands, and I'm going to put on his other leg now. I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, I'm going to switch back because I'm going to be able to move this to the camera so you can see it better. Okay, I'm going to get my rod. It's a pretty small rod, actually. It's not a real big rod. Up and touch. There we go. Anchor that down. There we go. Melt him in a little bit, so that's what he looks like. So we got one leg and a half a leg. And then start at the knee and go back down. Oops, didn't have enough, hot enough for that. Try that again. And there. Okay. That back up. That was a very ugly process. See how I can, you know, literally use the side of my tool to put it where I want it. Use my paring knife. Just sharpen that knee a little bit. Awesome. A little softer. Got one weird little candle in there. Tried to clean it out earlier. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Alrighty, get my bead all nice and warm again, especially down here towards the mandrel. The mandrel's always going to cool off your bead, so you want to make sure you keep those ends warm. Okay, here's our bead so far. We have 2 legs on a headless, armless frog. Let's go ahead, get a nice little clump here. I'm going to work on the head next. So I've got a nice ball going. I'm going to drip it on there, pull up a little bit, let it cool, and then kind of shape it. Okay, see that so far? That way I've got extra glass if I need it or want it. I can always take it off. And now I'm just going to kind of let the heat and gravity work on that head, because I want the head to stay up. So notice I'm holding it so that gravity keeps that head up a little bit. I also like to have him looking to the side a little bit. I just think it gives him character. See, that's what we've got. I'm glad I'm wearing that color shirt because you can see him a little easier there. Okay, see his head? I don't really form him too much yet. Just kind of the general look of a frog head. Okay. I think I'll switch because I want a little bit thinner arm. So I switched over to my stringer, and I'm just going to start where the shoulder would be, go down, touch, and melt off, and anchor that down. Stick that down onto your bead. Be sure and leave enough space because we got to get toes on him yet. So don't get too close to the top. He's still warm, so I can force him down, put him where I want. And I do push that into the glass because I'm going to put toes on him, so that flat surface will make it easier. Now his head will tend to cool off more, so you want to keep it pretty warm. You don't want it popping off. And again, keep your ends warm. Okay, by attaching him like that, it gives him a little shoulder there too. Can you see that?